Hey guys, hope you're having a great day. My name is Darrell Keezer. I'm the CEO and founder of Candybox Marketing. And today we're going to be talking about how to improve and increase your customers' lifetime value. We understand as an agency that loyalty pays. You don't want to be a company that just sells one thing once, but you want to be a company that is growing, that has a list of successful customers, and that does well. So over this 45-minute webinar, we're going to be showing you tips, tricks, strategies, and things to think about when you're thinking about your customers' lifetime value. During the course of this presentation, feel free to throw anything into the chat. If you've got any questions, you can ask a panelist different questions. And at the end, we are going to start answering your questions live here. And just for fun, we've got something at the end just for our live webinar attendees today. So in terms of Candybox Marketing, who are we? Why are we doing this webinar on customer lifetime value? We are Canada's premier digital marketing agency. We are full service. We do everything from brand, web, search, social, multimedia, video, webinars, podcasts. If you can see it on a screen, that's what we're focused on. And as an agency, it is our core value that we believe in growth. We believe in helping companies grow and expand to new heights, whether that's through building up your current customers, getting net new in, which we talk about a lot. But today, we are going to take a look back and say, how can we improve your current customers' lifetime value? In terms of the agenda, I'm going to be going over three things. So first, we're going to speak about customer journey mapping. So if you don't know what that is, you're in the right place today, all right? We're going to talk about customer journey mapping and how you can today start mapping out what your customer journey looks like. We are going to be sending out this presentation on our YouTube channel. So if you're not subscribed to us yet, just Google Candybox Marketing YouTube and hit that subscribe button, and you'll be getting a copy of this presentation within a week. You're not getting a copy of it. You see it on your subscription, and then you're going to watch it on a Friday night with a glass of wine. But more importantly, the value that you're going to get out of this webinar is trying to figure out how to improve your company's customer lifetime value. And I'm going to be touching on a lot of different areas, and I would encourage you, have like a notepad and pen. Having a separate screen, you're going to go somewhere else, and then you're going to get caught in an internet vortex, and you'll never come back to this webinar. So just get a pad of paper on the side if you want to, and a pen, and just write down ideas. Write down ideas for your company, because today is all about generating ideas to help you grow your business. Secondly, we're going to talk about low-tech marketing. Once again, if you don't know what this is, you're in the right place. And then lastly, we're going to talk about marketing automation and how we can tie all these things together with software and let robots do their work as we do ours. Now, the freebie, it's a sweet freebie. We've got something for business owners today. So if you stay until the end, which I know, I get it. It's warm outside. It depends on where you are. Here, it's very warm outside. It's actually warm in here. Our air conditioning isn't working so well. And so I understand that it's hard to attend the entire webinar. So I'm going to give you a golden nugget. At the end of this webinar, we have something very special for everybody that makes it to the end. So no, this is not going out on our YouTube channel. No one else is going to get access to it. Only you. So make sure you stay to the end, and you're going to get a sweet freebie. So customer lifetime value. Let's talk about it. Here is the digital online definition, very simple, of what CLV stands for. So it is the total income a business can expect from a customer over the entire period of the relationship. It's an important metric as it costs less to keep existing customers than it does to acquire new ones. So increasing the value of your existing customers is a great way to drive growth. Now, if you're in any marketing class or sales school or anything like that, they'll always use this number. Like, it is 10 times more expensive to get a new customer than to lose one. And you know what? I don't think I've seen that stat with a study next to it. All we know is it's easier, okay? It is easier to stay with your current customer and to increase their value and their longevity than to find somebody net new. There are businesses where it may be 20 times harder to find a net new customer. There's some companies that we deal with where it can take us 3 to 6 months just to be set up as a vendor, whereas other customers will come into Candybox Marketing and they'll sign up within a day. I mean, every customer lifetime value is a bit different based on what industry you're in, the customers that you're doing, but the overall consensus is you need to pay attention to your current customer because they're worth more and it is cheaper to maintain them. So I want to go into a couple reasons why focusing on CLV is absolutely crucial for your business. But I know that can kind of be a little bit boring. So instead of just giving you a bunch of bullet points that we're all going to nod and agree, I made some memes for you last night. Okay, so here are some memes to help us understand how your customer lifetime value matters to your business. So number one, if you're not in front of your best customer, you can bet your competitors are. I love this. So you think, the top meme here, your company, you're getting this new customer, you're so excited. You're like, oh my gosh, I get this new customer. It's ours. It's wonderful. They've signed, they've invoiced, they're paying. This is so great. And your competitor's like, yeah, us next. Okay, us next. And the problem with many businesses, and I fall into this trap as well too, is that you become so focused when you're growing on what is the new thing, and you ignore the existing business that you have. Okay. And so we're all, sometimes industries, they just play musical chairs all the time. You're just getting to the next seat, and somebody else is grabbing your last seat. And you're just constantly like, why are we in this cycle of constantly trying to get new customers? It's because your competitors are trying to get in front of your customers today. So we're going to talk about how to improve this today. Number two, maximize your customer's share of wallet. Okay, maximize your customer's share of wallet. So in this meme here, why didn't you sign up with their premium package? I didn't know you had one. Okay, it kills me. It absolutely kills me when companies contact us as an agency and we're full service and they're like, hey, guess what? Good news. We did branding and then we went to this website company and now we're ready to go and market it. And I'm like, okay, we do branding and we do websites and I've known you for how long? And then sometimes you take a look at the branding and website and you're like, this isn't going to work, right? And to be honest, it's not their fault. It's my fault. It's my fault for not educating my customers in what I'm doing on a regular basis, right? And so we can get upset and be like, I cannot believe that my customer, hired us for this, but they went to their competitor to get this. Like, we do this too. That's not them. That's you. That's me, right? So we got to make sure that we are maximizing our customers. Number three, it is easier to keep your customer than to get a new one, right? We talked about that at the beginning. Here's a fun meme to do with it. We're like, companies are always like, okay, we want to grow. And then immediately people are like, we need new customers. And then they start devising this entire plan to get 10% more customers while 15% are exiting out the back door without anybody noticing, right? If we just focus on the relationships that we have, on the customers that we have, and on building value with the existing people that know us, love us, and trust us, then we can build fast-growing companies. This next one, we don't think about this a lot, but this is fun. You, as a business, you can predict your customers' needs, their wants, their aspirations, their goals better than the competitors. You've already had the conversation with them. You may have been servicing them for years. You may have sold them multiple products. If you're in real estate, right, you understand what they like, what they don't like. You understand how they buy, who's making the purchase decision, how long do they need to make a decision. You understand how they like to communicate, whether it's text or email or in person. You understand if you've spent any time with them, what turns them off companies like yours. Okay, so you have the inside scoop on your own customer and your competitors don't. So you actually have a competitive advantage with your current customer that your competitors, even if they're better than you, they don't have it. So it's easier to do this. And lastly, it's yours to lose, okay? So sometimes, we're operating in business and we're like, oh, this customer's annoying me. And I send off this email and I'm like, ha, 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 I proved them wrong. And it's like, oh, I wonder if they're going to renew. It's like, no, they're not renewing. They're not coming back. They have left you. And you're all alone. Okay, so we have to think about this in terms of business longevity. As an agency, we've been on the list of the fastest growing companies in Canada for the last 5 years. And people always say, what's your strategy? First thing I say is retention. You're like, okay, I know retention, but what is the strategy? I'm like, retention. Then referrals, right? Because people that you retain become advocates of your organization. As a digital agency, we found out years ago that the average digital agency keeps a client for 4 months, okay? That's not good. 4 months is like 3 months, which is the trial, and then 1 month of cancellation. So my industry is absolutely riddled with companies that just turn and burn on clients. Our average customer lifetime value right now is 5 years and 9 months, and we're trying to improve. Okay, but our customers are ours to lose at any time. So I want to talk about a case study today. And in the last webinar, if you've joined our previous webinars, thank you so much for coming back. In our last webinar, we are bringing up different examples in Tesla and Apple. And I got a really great comment. Somebody said, can you use an example of a company that's like small and like more relatable than like Apple? Because everybody knows that Apple has like, $1 trillion. And of course, Apple can do that. So I listened, I heard, I created a case study. Now, the second thing about this case study is I'm very proud to say this isn't ours, okay? I chose something that we didn't do to show you what another company has done, either internally or with an agency or with some help from an outsider, and what another company has done to be successful, okay? Their name is Lawn Troopers. I also want to preface this by saying that I am not promoting them. I'm not just trying to endorse them. I'm not getting paid by them. I actually called the CEO today and I said, hey, I just want to let you know that I'm doing a webinar about you today, and you don't know me and I don't know you. You cut my lawn, but thanks so much. And the reason why I chose Lawn Troopers is because they have had one of the best customer journeys that I've had this year. And it all started with my lawn. So on day one, let's talk low-tech marketing. I saw Lawn Troopers out on the road. Okay, I'm not very good at doing anything around the house. Like anything, you can talk to my wife. It is completely true fact. Okay, and so even cutting my lawn, I have difficulties with. Okay, because it has to do with machines and doing things and stringing and lawn. I don't even know what I'm talking about. It is very clear that I'm completely inept when it comes to lawn maintenance, and I want a good lawn. That's what I want. So I see these guys. And they've got great branding, which, by the way, I could almost talk about their branding in another segment. I'm not going to, but they've got excellent branding. They're across the road. And the lawn that they were maintaining was beautiful, right? That's a case study. It's a testimonial. So I went over and I said, hey, can I get a quote? Not a problem. So they came over and they gave me a quote right there on the spot. And I said, thanks so much. That's great. I'm going to think about it, right? I'll think about it, right? It's how every sale just like peters out. And if they didn't pursue me, I wouldn't have actually become a customer. But guess what? Day 2, they called me, okay? P.S. This picture here, they didn't take this from me. I just grabbed this off their Instagram. So Lawn Troopers, thank you so much for letting me like completely go through and get everything from your Instagram here. So they just called me. Hey, Darrell, you got your quote. We'd love to do business with you. We come around your place every Thursday. Do you want to sign up? Here's the amount of things for the year. Here's the amount of cuts that are left in the season. Here's what the rate is, et cetera, et cetera. And they just, they just went through this entire thing. And I'm like, yeah, sure, let's go for it. Why? Because they called me. They put an immediate demand on my decision-making. They provided all the services. And I was like, yeah, that's great. Now, that's usually when my relationship with lawn companies ends. After that, they're just cutting the lawn and they just send me invoices and all that stuff. But it didn't end there with Lawn Troopers. Day 8, I got a welcome email. That's right, I got a welcome email. And it was really cool. And I was talking about like what they're doing and contact information just in case I needed to get in touch with them. And then guess what? I got a text message. I got a text message from my lawn company. I've never had this before. Hey, Darrell, thank you so much for signing up for our services. You appreciate my business. Now I feel loved. Okay, this is great. We're off to a great start. We are here to make sure that your yard looks its best. Feel free to text us at this number anytime if there's anything we can do to help. What are they doing here? They're marketing to me, but they're also opening up the lines of communication for me to have a customer relationship with them because they know, just like any other company, that sometimes things happen. Maybe they left the gate open. Maybe they were doing like a check mark pattern and I wanted straight lines. I don't know. Like these are stupid things. But what they were doing was they're opening up the relationship with me over email, text. They called me and I had an in-person meeting. 4 ways that people communicate I had within a week. Okay? Now, I like to say that that's it, but it gets better. Day 11, my first mow. Okay? They mowed my lawn. I'm at work. It's a Thursday, right? I'm at work and I get a text message. Hi, Darrell, our troopers have mowed your lawn today at blank. Sarge at headquarters. And I'm thinking, Sarge, you and I are going to be friends. Now I'm at work, okay? I'm in a meeting and I get this warm and fuzzy thinking, my lawn is taken care of, guys. And I know it's done. and I didn't have to check into it. I didn't need to think about it, but it's done. It doesn't end there. Then I started getting upsell emails. They started telling me about their mosquito spraying service. Now, I didn't need a mosquito spraying service, but now I know that there is one. And I'm like, that's exciting. Then I got an upsell for Walkways, saying, hey, you have weeds on your walkways? This one I got. Because I'm like, I do have weeds on my walkway, and I don't know how to deal with them. And I poured vinegar on them twice, and they didn't go away. And it looks really terrible, and my neighbors don't have weeds on theirs. So yes, for, what was this, $169? I was like, that is awesome for all the walkways and our interlock and everything like that. Now this completely saves me from a day of going to Home Depot and completely failing at another project and having my wife tell me that I should have just hired somebody, okay? Then I get an email about grub control. I didn't know about grubs, so I Googled it and I found out all this information about how grubs ruin your lawn and do all this stuff. And then I said, yes, I want these grubs gone. Why? Is that because like they're just upselling me something? No, because they're providing a service, because they know that my end goal isn't just to have my lawn cut. My end goal is I want to have a beautiful lawn. And they recognize this, and they're approaching me with different opportunities that I can take as a customer. Then afterwards, they're like, hey, can we do your gardens? So I took a look at this. I was like, absolutely. Like, this is going to save me like a lot of time, and I'm also terrible at doing this. So they upsold me into gardens. Then at the end of the season, they had a value-based upsell where they're like, hey, we can actually do overseeding and your lawn is going to look better next year. Fantastic. You know where I am. You already have my account information. I just respond to these emails. Go for it, Sarge. Let's make it happen. All right. And then at the end of the season, I come to Renewal. Now, I would say that most companies out there, they get it. They know that they need renewal because their business depends on it. But I had already been upgraded along the way to have a much better lawn. So when it came to renewal, I was like, this is no problem. Of course I'm renewing. Now, think about it this way. If they hadn't marketed all those different services to me during the year, and somebody came up to me and saying, hey, Darrell, you know what? You've got grubs, and that's a problem. You need to overseed, and that's a problem. Are you getting this from your current lawn care company? I'd say, no, I'm not. And I could have easily just switched to somebody else and not renew with these guys. But they're providing so much value through the season that I was enthusiastic to renew the service. But then I moved. Sad day, right? Customer lifetime value. They did such a great job. And now I'm moving cities. So I sent them a text message. Me and Sarge, we had a little conversation. And I was absolutely shocked what happened next. So I texted them, hey, we're moving on July 11th, and we'd like to cancel our service. Right? Oh, I'm sorry. Goodbye. See you later. Thanks for letting us know. Can we provide a quote on the new address? If you're in the GTA, we can get this moved over in the same week. Sure, we're at blank. Thanks, we can move service on July 11th, and it'll be the same rate. I've made the change on your account. Smiley face. My goodness, these guys. Lawn troopers, you're amazing. Instead of just losing their customer, which happens, right? We keep filling the bucket with customers and there's holes on the bottom and people move and expire and this and that and go with other competitors. They made sure not to lose my business. So a summary of this, over 2 years, my customer lifetime value has been on a consistent growth path with lawn troopers. And you say, but Darrell, you're just spending more money. Here's the thing, I'm a happy customer. They are educating me, they are meeting my needs, and they're doing the one thing that I actually contacted them for in the beginning. I just didn't know what I needed. I wanted a beautiful lawn. I said I needed it to be cut. But through my customer lifetime journey, they were upselling me on things that were helpful. So what we need to do in our businesses is that we need to start visualizing our customer lifetime value. Okay, we need to start visualizing it. And this is something you may want to spend a few hours on. You can whiteboard it, you can write it down on a piece of paper, spend time with different people in your company because they'll have different opinions on how this stuff works and what your customers go through. So as an example, when does their customer lifetime start and end? Okay, well, how long is that? Is your customer lifetime an hour? Like if you're a destination restaurant bringing people in and then they're out an hour later, is that where they're at? When does it typically end? Is it a 1 year relationship, 1 hour, or could it be 40 years? Number two, what does onboarding look like? All right, what does it look like to become a new customer? And this is very clear when you go to a restaurant and somebody says, a waiter or waitress comes up to you and says, have you been here before? You say no. All of a sudden they're like, okay, great. Let me provide the onboarding thing. Does your customer experience onboarding in a way that a restaurant does it, because restaurants are very good. They're going to tell you about their specials, how to order, what the specials are, the fact that they've got a wood burning oven in the back and different things that they don't know that they could use in their purchase journey at the restaurant, right? What does onboarding look like for you? Number 3, what does each phase of their customer lifetime value look like? Okay, at the beginning, you could say, all of our customers start off with this one service. Going back to lawn troopers, everybody calls us to cut the grass. Okay, we know that. They don't call us for grub control. They don't call us to spray for mosquitoes. They call us to cut the grass. So we're gonna meet that need really well. But then they want their lawn to be healthy. And then they want their gardens to be healthy. And then they want et cetera, and overseeding and fertilizing and all this stuff. And so we need to understand what this looks like over time, and don't try to jam it all in at once, because sometimes that's a bit of a put off, right? If you're calling for one service, they're trying to sell you 10. It's like, that could be challenging. But what does each phase look like? Within that, what problems can you solve? Because we're not selling products. We're not selling solutions, right? We are solving problems for people. We are giving them a better version of themselves. Nobody buys a lawn cutting service. They buy a convenient way to improve their house's aesthetic without having to do it themselves. That's what they buy, right? So everything that we do marketing-wise has to focus on that. Number 5, what is their total account size? What does it look like? What do people average budget for their grounds? For our agency, when I started Candybox more than a decade ago, I was actually selling mostly search engine services. And so I'd sell like SEO packages, search engine optimization. And the problem I ran up against all the time was that people didn't have it in their budget. So I'd say, okay, this is what we're going to do for SEO. And they're like, you know what? I'm taking a look at my budget this year. I don't have SEO on my budget, but I do have websites in my budget. Great. We'll do websites, and then we're going to do SEO as part of that. So we need to start thinking about what is the total account size that people are going to be spending within your category, and how you can start going after different pieces of business. What are the ancillary services that they need? This is very similar to the last thing, where it's, what are all the different things that you can offer in addition to what they're doing? And so it's Candybox, we start off with SEO, but then we quickly move to search engine marketing, website design, content writing, video, photography, branding, campaigns, social media. Like we started adding, because we realized people weren't buying a website, they're buying they're buying a digital marketing plan. And they needed all those components. And so we started doing all those things. This is not because we had some brilliant idea. It's just because we listened to our customer, we thought about their customer lifetime journey, and we started solving those problems. Big question, why would they stay with us? Why do people stay with your business today? Right? There's got to be a reason why they come back and use us over and over again. And so this may be customer service. It may be a pricing strategy and discounts. It may be that they really like the person that they're working with. You've got a personal touch, right? But we've got to start answering these questions. This is a hard question to answer. Why would they leave? Or why are they leaving? If you've ever had an exit customer interview, it can be really interesting, right? Find out what is the dirty laundry that's happening in your organization that people just leave without saying goodbye. And if you can start fixing these things and patching them up, it may be your invoice process, it may be your renewal process, or the fact that you don't communicate with them at all, right? You've got to figure this stuff out so you can lengthen your customer lifetime value. How would they refer us? Many people know why people would refer me, right? Why people would refer your business, but how do they do it? And do we have a strategy around generating referrals from our customers so that their lifetime isn't just them, but it's their friends, it's their family, it's their neighbors, it's everybody else in the industry, their colleagues, their next place of work? We need to think about, how do we actually incentivize people referring us? So when we take a look at your customer lifetime value here, it could look like this. On the left-hand side, you've got a bunch of customers entering your pipeline. Some of them stay on, some of them go to a phase 2, and then finally at the end, some of your customers will come to a successful end. Let's say if your customer lifetime value, the maximum is 10 years, and they go all the way through. That's great, right? You've ended with 10 years of a successful client, and that's amazing. The problem is, some people make it there, And then some people drop off. And really the difference is that the people that make it there are upgrading their experience along the way, and the people that leave are leaving due to attrition, right? They're leaving for a competitor. They're not finding value in your service. And so customer lifetime value, we've got to focus on how to make that successful upgrade happen along the way, and how to stop losing people. I love this quote. It's from a book called The Challenger Sale. Now, this is more about just the sales side than the marketing side. And the quote is, what if the customer's greatest need is to find out what they need? Okay, I'm going to read that again. What if the customer's greatest need is to find out what they need? So in your business, how are you approaching needs analysis? Are you asking the right questions in your marketing, in your sales process? Are you qualifying people properly? And are you listening for the service? Oh, you want this one service? Yeah, not a problem. We got it right here. We're going to give it to you. Or are you trying to find out, what is your goal with this service? And what are the other things that you can get off the shelf to help them? Or what are the things that you can help them as they're going through their marketing journey? Year 1, year 2, year 3. Sorry, I said marketing journey, customer journey. I'm a marketing guy, okay? I'm just full of it. So in terms of the book, The Challenger Sale, it's a great book that actually talks about how you can educate your customers along the way in their customer lifespan. And every single time when you educate them, you can tailor something for them to complete that part of their education. Now, here are some ideas for you. When we're talking about customer lifetime values, we need to be really good at identifying key events and milestones. So here's a couple to think about. Think about their new customer journey. So when I say plus 30, 60, 90, that means after they become a customer, 30 days later, what does that mean? 60 days later, where are they? 90 days later, are you contacting them? And what does that journey look like? Now, this may be minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years. Everybody's customer lifetime value or journey can be a different size, but you've got to identify, what are you doing during these milestones? Number 2, seasonal milestones. Obviously, the lawn care makes sense, but if you're in the trade show industry, we know that trade show industry have different windows. Are we meeting people with good marketing message during those times? Holidays, those are other things that we can kind of reach out to our customers. Unique customer dates like birthdays and anniversary. Customer loyalty dates. If you're in insurance, everybody renews insurance once a year. And that's their X date, right? That's the renewal date. Are you planning a customer lifetime journey around that date? Because if you contact them on the date and then they're like, well, I just already signed up, you're done. So you need to have something minus 60, right? Minus 60 of that date. You need to start interacting with, marketing to, and selling those customers. Macroeconomic factors. Sorry to use a big term here, guys, but macroeconomic factors are things like environmental, the political climate, what your competition is doing. What is your customer experiencing in their world that you can address, that you can speak to in their customer journey? Ad hoc issues and opportunities. There may be times where, and I love this, when companies get complaints of saying, okay, every single time somebody complains, that's a time that they're interacting with our company, and it's our opportunity to actually check in with them, upgrade them, see how they're doing, and make sure they're in the right spot. Lastly, upsell and upgrades. The other day I saw an ad on my phone, and it was amazing. It was from Apple, and it was basically saying, hey, click here to find out the value of your phone and what you can upgrade to. And it gave me a calculation right there in the app of what the value of the phone was if I traded it in for a new phone. So it was selling my upgrade. It's not a presentation unless it has a DeLorean in it in my books. Next thing to think about with your customer lifetime value is, have you considered the future of your customers? Okay, have you considered the future, the macroeconomic climate, what they're going through, what they're going to need next, and how your company is going to fit into it? Going back to lawn troopers, if we were to spend time thinking about what customers need, this morning when I was thinking about their future, I was thinking that this morning that a lot of people are now doing gardens again. People are growing their own vegetables and herbs and spices and things like that. And I think they're called homesteading or something like that. And that's a really big trend right now. And so it's like, could they, if this is their future, could they offer something in terms of training courses or maintenance or starter packages for people that are doing homesteading, right? Have you considered the future of your customer? If we take a look at Apple, Apple has changed a lot over the amount of years. Yes, I'm using Apple for one example. Okay, guys, give me a break. I can do that, all right? It's fine. And so like 1984, they came out with a Mac, and it's still running strong today. 2007, they decided to get into the phone market. I mean, this is crazy. This is 16 years ago. It seemed like yesterday, but they recognized that in terms of personal computing, they were a little late to the game, right? We already saw like BlackBerry and other brands kind of like jump into that market. And so Apple finally came out with the iPhone in 2007, recognizing that the future of computing would be fitting in our pockets. We'd be spending less time doing all of our tasks and, loading up the PC and printing off the MapQuest directions to bring to us, to put in the car to help us get to where we're going. They realized that the future was going to be around our phones. Then we had the iPad in 2010. We had Apple Watch in 2015, where people were starting to track their health statistics more. We've got AirPods, we've got AirTags, we've got Apple TV, we've got HomePods, right? They're constantly trying to look and innovate and saying, where's our customer going next? And let's make sure that we're part of that segment, okay, that segment of the market. Now, the really hard questions that we have to ask ourselves about customer lifetime value, and these are things within your organization that you've got to have a plan for, okay? Number one, who is responsible for customer lifetime value? Who's responsible? Because sometimes you'll say, well, everybody's responsible. Okay, sure, everybody plays a part, but who's actually responsible for that journey and mapping out that journey? Number two, what is the plan? What plan do you have for each either milestone or event within that journey? Who's on top of that? Right? These are all great ideas, and we all know, oh yeah, it'd be really good to wish them happy birthday. Oh yeah, we got to do something more for renewals. Oh, we should have a blog and connecting that with an email and send it out. Does somebody want to send out a blog? Like somebody needs to actually own this, and somebody needs to have a plan for this. The third thing, this is an awkward one. What is your customer lifetime value budget? Now, I feel comfortable enough asking this because everybody knows what their advertising budget is. You know what you're going to spend this year to try to attract new customers, but it's more expensive to get new customers than it is to keep your existing ones, right? We all agree. Okay, great. So what are you spending to keep your existing customers and to upgrade them? It hurts, doesn't it? Yeah, I face the same issue too. As a marketing agency, a lot of the times we're always focused on the shiny new thing, net new. Who's our net new client? Who's our next client that's coming around? And then we let the other clients disappear into the background. What is your budget for customer lifetime value? Because if you don't have a budget, it's very hard to do anything about it. Last question. Man, just hitting the hard ones today. Is it working? Is your customer lifetime value program working? Okay? Are there stats that indicate that you're increasing your customer lifetime value and is not decreasing? All right, so I'm going to leave those questions with you. We're going to get on to low-tech marketing. So low-tech marketing. What is low-tech marketing? Low-tech marketing is just really simple marketing mediums that you can easily launch. So these are things like sending even plain text emails, text messages, phone calls. Why people are investing a little bit more money in low-tech marketing is interesting because number one, it's easy to launch. Okay, it's a lot easier to launch a very quick email than a graphically rich email with video and all this stuff. It's just easy to get going. Number two, it gets noticed. A lot of times, and I'm going to show you the stats on how low-tech marketing can sometimes get a better response. And number three, it focuses on a call to action, a CTA. Okay, so it's very direct. So as a couple of examples here, with lawn troopers and text messaging, text messages have a 98% open rate. Okay, now I'm not just saying everybody should spam their clients with text. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is, have you considered sending your customers a text? If you do, what would you say? And if you'd say those things, would they actually respond and become better customers or more loyal customers? Text messages also have a 50% click-through ratio. That means that they're actually clicking on the link that's in the text to go somewhere, which these are astronomically higher than email stats. Number two, instant messaging, right? Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger. These are things that people are using on a daily basis and also are very similar in text messages in regards to their open rate. Do you have a direct message strategy with your customers. Third, the glorious phone. Okay, the actual phone, not like the phone, like the smartphone, but the phone app. Take a look at these stats. 78% of customers buy from the company to respond to them first. Excuse me? Sorry? What's that? Sorry. 78% of customers buy from the company that have the lowest prices, that have the best marketing campaign, right? No, that just respond to them first. That's it. They just want people to respond to them and respond to them quickly. Okay, take a look at this stat. Now, if that stat doesn't scare you, this second one will. After 5 minutes, your probability of closing a sale goes down by 80% when somebody submits a form online. 80%. So that means if you're getting leads on a regular basis and anybody in your company says, the leads that we get online are crap. They're not good. They don't answer the phone call. They never got back to us. They're bad leads. Here's the shocker. They're not bad leads. Nobody wakes up during the day and says, hey, I'm going to go on to a lawn care company website, take a look at their offering, fill out a form with my personal data, and never answer that company again. They don't do that. You know what they did? They filled out your form. And then if you didn't answer them within 10 minutes, they're on somebody else's website and they're filling out that person's form. And once they filled out that person's form, if that second person responds first, then I sign up with that company. And then what happens? Then you call, right? Then you call. And they see the number on their phone and they're like, oh no, I've already signed up with the other guys. This is awkward. And because we're Canadian, or most of us on this webinar today, we're Canadian, what do? We don't tell them. We just ignore them, right? That's a nice thing to do. Don't say, no, we actually went with somebody else. Thank you so much. No, we don't do that. We just ignore it. We ignore their emails. We'll ignore their texts. We'll ignore all the calls. Why? Because we're just like that. I don't know. We're just like that. So when people say, the leads are bad, no, leads are never bad. Our response time is bad. And our response time will lose people, and lost people don't answer their phones. Emails. Got a fun case study for you. So this webinar, we sent out 2 emails. One, the graphical one that you see on the left-hand side here. You see this? We got some nice graphic design here. It's a nice write-up, formatted text, sent it out by email. Okay? A week later, we sent out the second text. Now, statistically speaking, your first email will get your best response. Your second email, you're picking up the stragglers, right? So the first one we sent out, guess what? We had a great response. And then we took that exact same email and we sent it out just in plain text, so no graphics. Take a look at this. Our first email got 187 click-throughs into the webinar. Our second one got 202. Although the second one should have been worse because it came afterwards, it was actually better because it looked low tech. It looked like I was sending it personally to people. I got text messages from my aunt being like, I'm very sorry, Darrell, I can't make this webinar. We're in Florida. I'm like, this isn't a personal message, but it felt like a personal message to them, right? So it's really important to think about, okay, instead of just getting more graphically rich, maybe we can actually simplify our marketing programs. So our second one wins the prize for our best email. Although more work went into the first one, the second one, the low-tech one, actually won the day. Last item, marketing automation, and then yes, your freebie, and then we're going to be answering your questions. So marketing automation. Now, why do we talk about marketing automation in customer lifetime value? And the reason is, if we're talking about hundreds of customers or thousands or tens of thousands of customers with thousands of dates, thousands of data points, thousands of different journeys, and everybody's journey is a little bit different, you can't do this. We are partnered with a company named HubSpot that has a marketing automation software. Now, there's lots of marketing automation softwares out there that we work with. We worked with Marketo and Salesforce, Pardot, Klaviyo, MailChimp. We, as an agency, we do all those things. But I want to show you a couple things specifically from HubSpot here today, because some customers that come to us, they say, we don't even know what to do with marketing automation. And we find HubSpot is the easiest one for customers to get onto and gives them the best results. So I'm going to show you a couple stats and a couple screens today from HubSpot to understand how this bakes into everything that we were just talking about. And the reason why is you just can't do it all. There's too many things to do. There's too many emails, too many texts, too many numbers to track. And we know that the quote by Peter Drucker says, you cannot manage it if you can't measure it. All right, so let me show you. Whenever we're dealing with these things, we've got to think about measurement. Have you ever heard this? Hey, marketing department, can you give me a rundown of our 450 customers' lifetime value? Is it getting better or worse? And you kind of feel like this. You're like, customer lifetime value. Yeah, it's good, and it's getting better. It's probably getting better you don't know this, right? You don't know if you're losing 10% of your customers every single quarter because it's sometimes too hard to track. So that's why there's tools. This is an example of a marketing automation dashboard where we go from the first entry of somebody filling out a form online all the way through to them opening up an email, to clicking on a link, to the call to action, and then to becoming a sales qualified lead that became a customer. Okay? Now, without these tools, we're shooting in the dark. We have no idea what's going on. And it's very hard to improve a process when you're not really sure where your process is actually running out. So right here in this one, this shows that we actually only have a very small number of people that open the email that become a customer. So we've got to go back and say, what's wrong with this email? How can we improve that conversion rate? How can we make this a better customer journey that's going to lead in more people successful in the sale? And that's where marketing automation tools can use really, they're basic, but they're very strategic ways of improving your marketing. So an example here is when you're sending out an email, you don't just say, well, what should we say to our 10,000 customers? How to increase your customer's lifetime value. That's going to work. You actually don't know if that's going to work. So what you could do is you can actually say, okay, version A, we're going to say this in the subject. Version B, we're going to say this. And once we execute it, we use marketing automation tools to send out this email, to get it through to our customers, but only to 5% of the total list. And then whatever 5% has a higher click-through ratio or open rate or registration, then we say, oh, that's the winning one. And then we can send it out to the rest of the 95%. With marketing automation software, you can automate a lot of these heavy lifting, data-intensive tasks. Within sales, you also need automation too. If you're welcoming a new customer, you need to wait some time, then send them another thing, and then wait a month and send them something to say, hey, how are we doing? And then if they say yes, then you can send them to review. You need to chart out their path. And you may have this all in your mind, but you don't have the time to execute this across hundreds or thousands of customers. So you can actually bring in sales automation tools so at every stage of the journey, the person is getting a personalized message based on who they are as a customer. CRM integrations. Okay, so HubSpot comes baked in with the CRM, right? CRM has been around for 20 years. I don't need to tell everybody what a CRM is. It is a customer relationship tool, but what it does when connected to your marketing is that it can activate and say, okay, this person has actually visited the website 5 times and not converted. Let's reach out to them. Or the person has been contacted 4 times and they never answer. Let's drop them, right? And so we need CRM integrations to actually understand every customer holistically. So when Ada calls and are speaking about the account, I can quickly look at all the activities and see what has their customer journey been to date. Within this, you can also look at sales automation. So think of marketing, bringing people in, bringing sales qualified leads. We pass it off to sales, and then we say, okay, for a salesperson, what does it mean once they've actually signed, right? What is the steps afterwards? Because there's a lot of organizations where they have this entire plan up until they sign, and then when they sign, they just go into this abyss. And they're like, well, they signed, who cares? Throw them over into operations, and they'll take care of it. No. We need to continue selling through the customer lifetime value. We need to continually reach back out to those people to make sure that they're having a great experience. In terms of HubSpot stats, this is from the 2022 HubSpot Consumer Research Report. HubSpot customers had a 33% increase of deals won after 1 year. Okay, so they're landing a third more after implementing their sales software. They had a 2.8 times higher deal close ratio when using workflows. Okay, so workflows are those emails that are just going through an automation one at a time. So they're closing almost 3 times the amount of deals, right? Your ratio of closed deals just by putting people into a workflow. Why? Because if it's based on a human, remembering to send that one quick follow-up email that is compelling and really great for that end customer is hard for salespeople to do all the time with so many customers. And then customers that are using Marketing Hub, which includes reporting, they get 9 times more inbound leads. Okay, the reason why here, if you can measure it, you can manage it. If you can manage it, you can make it better. So, did you hit your Q2 sales goals this year? Right, we're rounding the corner here. We are, May 31st today. We're just nearing the end of 2, and this may be dependent on what you have in your toolkit, right? Marketing automation is absolutely critical, not just to get those net new people, but to nurture those people through from beginning to end. And so I hope that today's webinar opened up a lot of different opportunities for you to think about how you can improve your customer lifetime value. Now, if you need help, we have 40 full-time people here at KennyBox Marketing. We don't outsource. We're a HubSpot partner. We do everything brand, web, search, and social to help close the loop on your digital marketing needs. We're based in Oakville, Ontario, and in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and we help companies grow through digital marketing.